I got a bit bored in a gym recently and I changed my low rep heavyweight strength training for some high rep low weight training, working more on hypertrophy, thinking it was going to be easier on my body. But what really happened was I ended up with the sorest, tightest hamstrings, glutes and triceps I've ever had in my life, including straining my glutes, which was pulling on my tailbone so much that I couldn't sit down. I've been lifting for years, quite heavy weights, and this was way lighter. So what went wrong? Well, this is a thing I see in everyday life, and it's how your body responds to change, not necessarily more challenge, but just different. So I went from sticking to compound lifts, like your squat, deadlift, presses, rows, and overhead press, for going for like 5 to 6, maybe 7 or 8 reps at very most, to doing some exercises around the 8 to 10 rep mark, but then other exercises up to around 20 reps. I was just going to try it for 12 weeks, see if I can increase muscle mass by, doing a hypertrophy periodized program, just to change things up a little bit and see how my body felt lifting some lighter weights. The aftermath was that my triceps were so sore I couldn't stretch them like this. I couldn't even touch my shoulders. This went on for about a week. My hamstrings were so tight I couldn't touch my toes or even my shins, let alone the floor. And I got this really weird pain in my glutes and they kept going into spasm, cramping so hard that I was in agony for a second or two before it would release and then cramp again. And this went on for a couple of days too, which was so sore I couldn't even sit on my butt. Lying in bed was painful and moving around would send me into another crampy spasm of the glutes. And this isn't something that felt like an injury mid-session, like at the time injury. This is something that kicked in over the next few days. You'd often assume that you're going to get injured if you push things too heavy and try an ego lift, or you push yourself in some other extreme way. But actually just different is enough to cause you pain and discomfort, even if it's just muscle soreness. And this different rep range just stresses the body in a different way, which is exactly what happened to me. In the same way that like a new movement might be able to cause you to be a bit sore or a bit painful because you've not done that movement, your body's not used to it, so it could be sore. In the same way as this new rep range was a bit more sore, or a hell of a lot more sore. And even the tempo that I was training with lighter weight was much different. The weights were like 25% of what I would normally lift. I was slowing those down. There was a bit more focus on the eccentric, the lowering of the weights as well. I was probably using a greater range of motion than perhaps when I'm using really heavy weights, and the tempo's different level of fatigue in the muscles. So just to give you an idea of what I'm normally doing, I'm normally focusing on those deadlifts, squats, presses, particularly thinking deadlifts and squats for the legs, normally about double my body weight. So around the 160 mark. And like, for example, tricep dips is like my body weight plus 40 kilos for about 7 or 8 reps. And I've gone to doing things like hamstring curls on a machine, quad extensions, and I've been doing some squats and things like that still, but everything else has been high rep. The tricep extensions, I was doing a little superset of 15 to 20 extensions, 15 to 20 rope press downs with very little weight, like 35 kilos, so like 25% of the weight that I would normally use. And honestly, it's written me off.
And this can happen to anyone doing something different with their body. Imagine you go skiing for the first time, you play golf for the first time maybe, or you get on a horse for the first time, then your body's going to tell you. And I see it and speak to my clients all the time in the spring when they're going, going gardening for the first time, to sort of garden out for the spring and the summer, and their bodies are hurting. And this kind of different activity you're not match fit for can cause things to kick off, can cause flare-ups, could just cause general muscle soreness.
And of course, occasionally you're going to do something different with your body, and that's perfectly normal. You might try different training, you might try a new exercise regime like running, and that's all perfectly normal to get some soreness for a couple of days maybe. But like setting off days of debilitating pain or setting off an injury flare-up is a red flag. And the takeaway from this video really is to start small and build things up. Don't just go all in, like I did. Try and build things up slowly. Start with a few less reps or a much lighter weight, and just slowly start to introduce your body to the movement, to the exercise, to the load, the tempo. And eventually, if you build up slowly with patience, you'll be much less likely to get any flare-ups and soreness and injury. For the gardeners out there, if you are going out to sort the garden out and you're going to spend all day out there from nothing, you might just want a few bits over a few days and then just slowly build that up. You'll be much less likely to get any soreness at all. And if you are wondering what I did to come back from the soreness, I reduced down the weights, I did slightly less reps, I spent periods of time every single day mobilizing and doing some light stretching to release tension from my muscles and restore the length of my muscles, so enabling me to fully stretch the hamstrings and to stop getting glute cramp, which really was quite painful for a few days. Couldn't even sit on the floor. As a Pilates instructor, not being able to sit on the floor, a little bit embarrassing. And it was really useful to just have a daily routine of mobility and Pilates, which I use anyway to mobilize before the gym, just to keep me moving and to get those muscles and joints moving around. Other boring things like just trying to make sure I got enough sleep to help me recover, eating good food, staying hydrated, things like that all had a massive impact on recovering. So if you are feeling sore or you've had a bit of a flare up and you can't work out why, there's normally multiple reasons for that, but often there's going to be one thing that has kind of pushed you over, like doing something different. And the best thing is don't panic about it. You probably haven't injured yourself. You've just got really tight and a bit sore, and it's going to get better over a few days if you just keep moving and just look after yourself generally. Things are going to settle down. Doesn't mean that you're weak or broken. It just means that your body needs a little bit of time to catch up. So if this kind of thing does happen to you often, or if you do have a history of back pain or something like that, and this is kind of resonating with you, but you're never really sure what to do, then please get in touch with me and I'll be happy to share what I share within my membership, which helps people go through their back pain flare-ups, helps them overcome back pain, and helps people keep moving despite being, in different levels of pain, because keeping moving is absolutely key. Hopefully you found this useful. Please give me a shout if you've got any questions at all, and thank you very much for watching.